which is placing guilt on yourself is like punching yourself in the balls. It serves no purpose. It serves no purpose. It is simply feedback for improvement. So if you're feeling guilt, then ask yourself, what could I do next time? And then place some forgiveness back onto you. Welcome back to the Happy Positive Energy Game podcast with me, your host, Luke Anning. And I hope all you beautiful people are feeling bright and warm. And if not, that's exactly why I'm here. And if anything in this episode lands with you, I'd really, 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 really appreciate it if you drop a share and tag me in your socials at LUKE, ANNING. We really don't ask for much over here. So just that you guys really take on board some of the lessons and share it to somebody else so that it makes their day better too. And the last episode, I talked about time and attention and how and why it should be your most important resource that you utilize and that you have. Now, today's a pretty special episode. So for some of you long-term listeners, I just want to let you know, I appreciate you so much. But today, I'm going to give you 50 life lessons. And these are going to be pretty concise. But the reason being, it is podcast number 50. We have reached a half century of podcasts. It feels like the time has flown by and so much has happened. But there's over 50 of you that listen regularly. And we've got a total of over 3,500 total plays. So really, with this episode, I wanted to give you some short, to the point lessons that cover all bases of life, entrepreneurship, and just help you guys step that little bit more forward into some form of area. And really, all of your positive feedback have motivated and inspired me to keep rolling with this thing. There was a time when I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing it, but I just kept rolling because I'm consistent. I stick to my word. But I just want to say I appreciate all of you, and I hope you get the most out of this episode. I know if I was listening to this episode, I'd be taking notes as I go. So I'm going to try and walk you guys through it so you can take notes, but I'm going to be pretty concise and to the point so that you can just be like, boom, information in. So with that said, let's dive deep into it. Lesson number 1. Anxiety is not a cause, it's an effect. It's an effect of a stressor that was worrying you in the past or you're worrying about in the future. It's not a cause. It's not my anxiety. It's an effect of something else happening. Number 2, it's not your job to fix everyone's problems, but it is your job to fix your own. Lesson number 3, take loans and get into debt for things that are an investment and produce a long-term return. Don't do it for short-term gain. So when I pulled out 3 credit cards for the trip to Mexico and America, 5K of that was on the investment, staying at the hotel, being at my mentor's mastermind. 5K of that was just on mindless spending. 4, listen to your gut always. If you're unsure on a decision, ask yourself a question, close your eyes, and listen to your gut's answer, because your gut is attached to your feelings and your intuition, and that is going to lead you to the best result possible. Trust me, every time I do it, I'm very spiritually connected at the moment, so it's one of my psychic abilities. Some of you are like, what? No, everybody's got a psychic thing. But really, every time I listen to my intuition on a decision, it makes me feel amazing, and it always comes back really well. Lesson 5, the biggest act of self-love you can give yourself is going to bed on time. Number 6, start your habit of reading books by reading books that you enjoy. I've read some amazing books, and some of them are they're just fucking mind-numbing, to be honest. They're amazing for information, but they're so mind-numbing and boring that it's a hard read. But the best 2 books that I think you can read that are really short, interesting, and creative for you and will keep you hooked are As a Man Thinketh and The Alchemist. The Alchemist was the first ever personal development book that I read, and it really started this journey. I pretty much launched my business a week after that. So yeah, if you guys get the opportunity to read them, definitely would. Number 7, self-doubt and worry doesn't serve your purpose. So don't spend time allowing it to consume you. Instead, write about it and move forward. Number 8, an excuse is the difference between who you are and who you wish to be. Number 9, don't slouch, sit up and be alert. Number 10, forgive yourself for the actions that you took in the past. it still holds a negative energy towards that, and you're still judging yourself towards it. So it's better to just release it. Number 11, forgive others as well. So, with that aspect of things, this includes bullies, abusers, parents, whatever. Like, I've done this for my sexual abusers and bullies and everyone. And from there, like, it just allowed me to feel that little bit lighter. Number 12, be around people that are growing and admit their mistakes and then move forwards. Not people that not people that escape their life and their problems. 13, tell yourself that you love yourself and you're enough every single day. Number 14, pleasing people is the opposite of pleasing yourself. So I'm going to repeat that. Pleasing people is the opposite of pleasing yourself. 15, set boundaries with other people. Setting boundaries with other people is important, but setting boundaries with yourself is even more important, because knowing what you will and won't do is so much more important, and that's going to align with what everybody else is doing. Number 16, it's okay to not know the answer, but judging yourself because you don't know the answer is completely pointless. And this rolls into number 17, which is placing guilt on yourself is like punching yourself in the balls. It serves no purpose. It serves no purpose. It is simply feedback for improvement. So if you're feeling guilt, then ask yourself, what could I do next time? And then place some forgiveness back onto you. Number 18, if you're triggered, take a moment. Don't react. Instead, take yourself out of the situation and get to the root cause as to why you're triggered and heal it. And this rolls me into number 19, which is working hard at your job will create a living, whereas working hard at yourself will create a fortune. Number 20, you can read as many books, as many courses, take as many certifications, listen to as many podcasts as you like, but they mean absolutely nothing if you do nothing with that information. Knowledge is only powerful if you use it. This is like all the people that call me out on social media when I first started coaching, saying like, you don't know what you're doing, you should do this, you should do that. And they're working like, this sounds like a spite, but they're working a job that they don't want to do because they're jealous of me taking action and getting outside of my comfort zone when they're still in theirs. So knowledge, again, is only powerful when you use it. 21, getting outside of your comfort zone doesn't just apply to things like cold showers and working out. It could mean going on a family vacation and asking your parents positive questions like, what are you grateful for? That was a lesson that I learned last weekend. 22, if your relationship with money is poor, money's relationship will be poor with you as well. So think of your relationship with money like the same with you and a partner. If you give no application and no time to the management and improvement of your relationship, then it only has a reason for going wrong and not improving. The mistakes will build up and you won't learn. 23, happiness is not achieved, it is decided. You can literally decide to be happy today. You just have to choose to be. And this is going to roll me into lesson number 24, which is gratitude creates abundance and happiness. So if you can be grateful for everything you already have, you'll create more from it. But if you're resentful and complaining of your situation, it'll stay like it is. Lesson number 25, we're halfway through. Take off the mask. It is not worth flexing or trying to be someone that you're not to get likes, comments, compliments from others. The only validation you need is from you, and that will hold truer than anything external from somebody else. 26, start today. Whatever it is, start today. Waiting another year for your situation to change or someone else to change is a great recipe for things not going well. So you must start today with whatever you've been thinking about. Start today. I don't care if that's like you apply 2 minutes to just write down what you're going to do for tomorrow. That's an application of starting. But just start. 27, you can learn something from anyone. So take away the ego of thinking you know it all. For everything and everyone has an aspect of education and learning to build from. 28, the people that hurt you are more hurt than you, so don't hold it against them. This goes for bullies, abusers, etc., etc. It can be challenging, I know, but it's your ego trying to protect you by thinking, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. It's negative energy. It's not worth holding on to. You can forgive. It doesn't mean you need to forget. And it doesn't mean you need to go and hold hands and skip merrily down the road. But allowing yourself to pull away the grudges and pull away the judgment and the resentment is going to allow you to feel that little bit lighter. Because at the end of the day, resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. 29. Business is not about emotions. So pull yourself out of it and realize everything is just feedback. Positive equals keep doing it. Negative equals something to change. 30. Entrepreneurship is simply finding a problem and creating a solution. It's really that simple. Lesson number 31. A market for your service is more important than how good you are at selling it. For example, if you decided today to create a newspaper and you had the best sales persuasion you'd get, you'd still be fucked because newspapers are going down in sales 25% annually because everything's online, obviously. So that's why it's super important that when you start a business or when you start deciding on your niche, you need to look and see if there is a good market for it. Number 32, focus on one thing for 6 months and get very good at it. You'll learn more about yourself on that than you will do chopping and changing at something new every single month. This is why when I applied myself to my bodybuilding goal, I was very, very committed for 6 months. And out the back of that, I'd quit my job in 3 weeks. I'd already worked a job that was way more fulfilling. And then off the back of that, started my business. And that commitment that I'd learned during the bodybuilding carried over into my business. So if you stay very committed and very aligned with 6 months for something, you're going to get very good at it. If you're chopping and changing things that you're doing every single month, it's not going to work. 33. Everyone has problems and stress. It's just how people deal with it that determines their outcomes. 34. The universe is real and law of attraction really does work. This is the best lesson, I swear. Because when I started thanking the universe and thanking God and thanking the world for all of the things that I was receiving and for my place of being, everything started getting better. When I was resentful and complaining, nothing good was coming. Lesson number 35. Pornography is dead. Place your sexual energy into thoughts of manifesting, and you'll get a lifetime of abundance from it. Lesson number 36. Keep in contact with those that support you. Cut out those who talk shit. 37. If you're worried about what your friends will think of you doing something new, like a business, like a side hustle, they're not the right friends. 38. Don't listen to your parents for advice unless they're billionaires. Now, this may sound really harsh, but at the end of the day, if your parents have learned a 9 to 5 and they're super stressed all the time and they don't manage their emotions, and sometimes you think the way that they react is like toddlers, why would you go to them for emotional help? Go to professionals, go to therapists, go to behavioral coaches, whatever that may be. Go to the specialists who've done the work. Number 39, share things that help you and the lessons that you have. So share the things that help you win and the lessons and mistakes that you've learned. That's why I've got a podcast. Number 40, no one is out of your league. It's literally your energy that attracts people, not just how you look. Lesson number 41, everyone will judge you because they're also judging themselves. Judgment gets a bad rap. I think it's simply a way of life as to understand where our place in life lies. But if you can unattach yourself from the negative connotation of it and just do you, you'll be grand in money and yourself. 42. Sometimes going for a walk and taking deep breaths is exactly the right action to take to be more yourself. Lesson number 43, wherever you can, dance and just dance some more. Lesson number 44, schedule your time every single day. Go with the flow means to be in a deeper meaning of being intentional. So if you're not intentional with your time, you'll have none and you're not in flow. Lesson number 45, do a monthly audit of your expenses and cut out what's not needed. Lesson number 46. School is set up for people to become employees. If it were taught how to get the most out of life, it would teach you management of finances, leveraging taxes, managing your health physically, emotionally, and spiritually, but it doesn't. It is set up so that you become part of the system and work for the larger corporations and listen to all of the mainstream sources so you can be sold more products. 47. Mainstream media is a plague. It is simply something that the more you can avoid it, the better you'll feel. And it's about you. It's not about everyone else. You will still be informed if you don't listen to mainstream media, but you do not need the constant anxiety, breaking news. This has happened, war, bombing, plague, sickness, deaths. You do not need that in your life. You know it's happening. If you want to learn that information, go out and learn it, sure. But you do not need to listen to mainstream media, particularly every second of the day. Something I'm very passionate about. 48. Everybody started from somewhere similar to you, or with something they had to come, or with something that they had to overcome. So it's best to lean into that and realize that nothing else matters except working on you. 49. There's a difference about complaining and not doing anything versus expressing your frustrations and making a decision. For example, I used to complain about the government and I don't anymore because it's negative energy, versus expressing myself about not getting what I wanted from a coaching program I was part of. And after not having my feedback listened to, I left. So you're allowed to express yourself. You're allowed to address your concerns and address your frustrations, and then make a decision onward from there if things aren't met and things aren't changed. Number 50, you are enough, have always been enough, and will always be enough. So I hope this episode helps. I really do this because I know where I was in one point of life, and to guide somebody else through my lessons and through everything that I learned to increase their vibes, actions, and intentions towards the happier, positive energy game of life with some of the badass ways that I've done it, then that would absolutely rock. So if anything in this episode touched base with you, if you loved any of the lessons that I've brought forward, if you want to drop a message and say like that was really cool, I'd really appreciate it because I love it when you guys do that. But at the same time, do this so that you guys are lifted up. So with that said, keep being the badasses that you are, keep taking action, be the inspiration. I appreciate you. I hope you have an awesome day.